Hey everyone, just here for the Sun and Moon Yoga live stream. I'm here a few minutes early, so I know we're all still getting started. If you happen to pop on, say hi. Oh yeah, now you can actually see my face. This is Pooja. This is why we started a couple of minutes early. All right, looks like we have one person joining us. We're gonna have a couple more. Just saying hi. We're gonna get started in a couple of minutes. All right. So if you're here and if you want to say hi, just pop into, I guess not, it's not a chat, but pop into a comment. Pop a comment in and just say how you're doing. All right. Hey, I've seen that some people have joined us. We're going to start in about a minute. Good morning, Catherine. How are you? We'll get started in about a minute. Props you need, any props that you tend to use for yoga. So a strap could be helpful, blocks could be helpful. If you don't have any of that, don't worry about that. The one thing I would really recommend is getting a towel or two and rolling it up, because you can use that for everything. And if you have a strap, we're going to use something like that, or you can use your towel. Hi, Carmen. Good morning. I think I just missed somebody else saying good morning. My apologies. I'm still learning how to read the chat on YouTube. All right. So we'll take another 30 seconds before we get started. Again, props wise, a strap works, blocks work if you have them. If you don't have any of those things, go grab a towel, and it helps to have a belt or a scarf or something you can wrap around your feet. right, good morning. My name is Pooja Virani, and this video is from Sun and Moon Yoga, and it's called You Don't Need Knee Pain. So we're going to be focusing on knee pain through a combination of some myofascial release, myofascial elasticity, and some yoga stretches, both yin as well as active. So it's kind of like a yin-yang, but with my own personal twist on it. So again, grab a towel, you'll need that. If nothing else, just grab a towel and roll it up like I have mine rolled up over there. And then come to a comfortable seat on your mat. So if you have that towel or if you have a block, feel free to stick it under the hips. And once you're in your seat, close your eyes or look with a soft gaze on the ground. And start to tune into your physical body this morning. And I'm saying morning because I still see some people typing good morning into the chat. So good morning. So happy to be here. So when you come to a comfortable seat, just notice your physical body and just start by bringing your attention to your feet, the bottoms of your feet. Noticing how they're feeling today. We walk on them all day, but how often do we notice what they feel like? And then bring your attention to your calves and your shins, noticing any sensations in your lower legs. Bring that attention up towards your knees. Our focus today. How do they feel in this seated position? Do they feel okay? Do they feel like they need a little bit of TLC or a lot of TLC? And then bring your attention up towards your thighs, hips, noticing these areas. They're all connected. So we'll be working a little bit there too. And then notice your torso, pulling up your belly, your chest, your back. Notice your shoulders. Arms, forearms, wrists, all the way up to your head. Again, just noticing which areas feel fantastic today, which areas feel great, and which need a little bit of TLC. And then start to bring your attention to your breath. Take a deep inhale through your nostrils, fill up your belly with air. Exhale, completely empty the belly. Inhale, fill up the belly, the ribs, the chest with air. Exhale, empty the chest, the ribs, the belly. Inhale all the way from the bottom up to the top of your lungs. Exhale, completely empty top to bottom. And start to find your own rhythm, your own pace. If you're familiar with Ujjayi, the ocean sounding breath, feel free to add the constriction to the back of your throat to add a little bit more heat on this sunny, beautiful day. And if it's not sunny and beautiful where you are, great opportunity to bring about that heat. And if you can deepen the breath, elongating both your inhale and your exhale. And slowly come to natural breath, or continue with this breath for the rest of your practice. You're going to remove any props from under your seat. And go ahead, grab your towel. So I just have a towel here. I've made a little towel roll. I've wrapped it up. If you have a foam roller, you can use that instead. I want to make sure everyone can do this at home. And you're going to come to kneel and stick this towel right behind your knees, top of your legs, and sit back. And you're probably going to feel this all through the backs of the legs, your hamstrings, your calves. If you've taken a class with me before, you know I love this myofascial release because as human beings, we walk around. We walk around on 2 feet, which means that those muscles which connect to our feet, the gastrocnemius and the soleus, the ones that run through the backs of our legs, even all the way up through the hamstrings, do a lot of work from day to day, just moving us around. Every time we stand up and we walk over to the bathroom or we're standing up in the kitchen, working these muscles. So let's just slowly release them. And you can come back to that breath you just started with, either an Ujjayi breath or Dirga Pranayama, that 3-part breath, or even a belly breath. And now lift up and scoot the towel a little further down, or approximately the middle part of your calf. If it's a little higher or if it's a little lower, that's fine. We're getting into the meat of the calf. For some of you, this will feel amazing. This will feel great. For others of you, you will not want to sit this deeply in. You may even want to lean forward and take a little pressure out of your legs. That is fine. And once more, lower it down towards your ankles and sit back. Now again, I'm doing this with a towel at home. If you have something like balls or a foam roller, you can make this a slightly deeper or more intense myofascial release. And slowly remove that prop. And we're going to bring it over to the sides of our legs. So where you're going to look is approximately where a pocket is. If you're wearing female pants, they tend to have much higher pockets than men's pants. So for female pants, the pockets tend to be up here. Go right below the pocket. If you're wearing male pants, you're going to go approximately to the middle of the pocket or the bottom of the pocket. And once you find the spot, you're going to position your towel or your prop right there along that side, and then bring your other knee over to the side, lowering your chest towards the ground. And where you're hitting right now is your TFL, or your tension fascia latae. So if you've ever complained about a tight IT band, yeah, that's that strip that runs all along the side of your leg. The TFL and the IT band share the same insertion point. And while the TFL is very strong, it's like this thick cord that runs through your leg and is pretty resistant to manipulation. It can be manipulated, but it needs quite a bit of force. The TFL is a little easier to get into, so by releasing it, we're releasing the entire side of the leg. So keep coming back to that breath and see if you can sink a little deeper. And take another 5 to 8 breaths here. Continuing to relax every part of your body that is not on top of your foam roller or your towel. And then slowly make your way up, and we'll switch over to the other side. So once again, find that pocket spot, bringing the side of your leg on top, and then your other leg over, and lowering your chest towards the earth. If you're a little bit more propped up on your side, if that's where you are, that's perfectly fine. And let's take another 10 breaths here. Softening as much of your body as possible. Now slowly bring your hands under your shoulders, walk your way up, and make your way all the way up to standing. All right, so we're gonna get a little bit more dynamic in our movement here. You're gonna bring your feet a little wider than hip width apart, reach your right arm up overhead, and now it's gonna look like I'm moving my arm. What I'm really moving is the side of my body. So keeping my arm straight, I'm just gonna send my hips and my ribs out to the right. So try this with me. We're gonna do a little bounce here. And I'm aware you may not be able to see the top of my hand, so I'm just gonna go back for a second. Notice that the top of my hand, I'm keeping it straight, and let me just come forward. So keeping the elbow straight, really reaching all my fingers up towards the ceiling. And up to center, let's switch over to the other side. Left arm reaches up overhead, and now bounce the other way. And where you may feel this, just depending on your body, you may feel this under your armpit, or you may feel this the side of that leg. So where we just had that towel, the TFL, the IT band, we're working on dynamically stretching that area. And back to center. Now bring your feet wider than your mat. I'm going to turn sideways for a moment. And instead of coming down with the flat back, you are going to round your spine and engage your abdominal muscles. So pull your navel up and towards your back. Interlace your hands behind your head. And now round down, keep the quad strong, keep the core muscle strong, and a little bounce here. And you may feel this all through the backs of your legs, through your hamstrings. This is one of the best ways I know to release the hamstrings. and all the way up to stand. We're gonna repeat those two. So once again, bring your feet hip width apart. If balance was okay, cross your right foot over your left, reach your right arm overhead, and once again, send your hips and rib cage over towards the right side of your mat. And you may notice this time that there's a little bit more movement. You may also feel this in a slightly different place in your hip. Wherever you feel it is perfectly fine. We're focusing the side of the body. So anywhere along the side, you've got it. And back to center. Let's switch sides. Let's switch feet. Cross your left foot over your right. Reach the left arm up to the sky and other way. And back to center. We're gonna go back to our bounces here. Interlace your hands behind your back. Bring your feet wide. If you're experiencing any pinching in the back, bring your feet even wider. And now draw your navel up and in and send your head to your knees. And this can be a tiny little bounce or a big bounce, whatever feels okay for you. And back up to stand. All right, so if you have 2 blocks or a coffee table, something you can put your weight on, feel free to grab it. If not, that's fine too. Your body is your best prop. So I'm gonna come into a lunge, and there's 2 ways of doing this. I'm gonna bring my left foot forward, right leg back. If balance is a challenge here with the heel lifted, bring your hands to the earth, and now you're gonna drop and lift your back knee. Now, if this feels okay, balance is okay, interlace the hands behind the head and keep making this movement. And don't worry about bringing your back knee to the ground. You're not going for a deep bodybuilding lunge here. You're just trying to open up your hip flexors. And pause, drop the back heel to the earth, bring your hands by your lower hip and toss them over your front shoulder. And pause. Let's switch sides, let's switch legs. Bring your right leg forward, left leg back, left heel is lifted. Again, option to use your blocks or your coffee table as you drop your back knee down. 1 inch, 1 millimeter, maybe a few inches. Or interlace your hands behind your head, draw the elbows wide, and keep on going. And back, you're gonna drop your back heel to the ground, loose warrior 2. Bring your hands by your lower hip, back hip, and toss them over your front shoulder. Again, we're looking for dynamic movements here. So when we work myofascial elasticity, we picture the body as a rubber band or a tennis ball. It has bounce. And we're working with that bounce to have our bodies be able to react to that dynamically and that quickly. And so that when we fall, we bounce, we don't get hurt, we don't sink. We just come right back up. We're gonna repeat those lunges one more time. We're gonna add onto it. So we're gonna bring your left leg forward again. If balance was a challenge, you have your options. If you wanna add on, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna interlace your hands behind your head and now lean towards your front leg. And once again, forward and back. And you may feel this through the front of your right hip and torso. And pause, send your back heel to the earth. Bring your hands up and now toss them towards your back hip. And I like to imagine that I'm tossing away whatever I don't need in this moment. And step back up to the front of your mat. Switch sides, other way. Interlace your hands behind your head, lean over, and once again, forward and back, up and down. And now pause, drop your back heel to the earth, bring your hands by your front shoulder, and release. Release your hands, step up to the front, and now go find a wall. So I'm gonna find these pillars here. And you're gonna come into a short lunge. Back leg is straight, front leg is bent. And if you can't see my head right now, don't worry, you don't need to see my head. So once you're here, tuck your tailbone. And just notice the stretch along your right calf. And let's take a couple of breaths here. And now bend your back heel. You may need to step it up a little closer, bending your back knee. Keep your back heel on the earth. Once again, tuck the tailbone. And feel the stretch all the way through your Achilles. Slowly release, switch sides. Once again, short lunge, back leg is straight, front knee is bent. Tuck the tailbone, send the pelvis forward. And now drop the back knee. Keep the back heel on the earth. Once again, tuck. Keep the left chest lifted. If your heel is lifting off the earth, adjust the position. Maybe scoot the back heel in further, coming into a shorter lunge. Slowly come all the way up to stand and make your way back to your mat. We're going to move into a couple of longer stretches. So our first one, you're going to bring your legs out wide, just to a comfortable distance. They do not have to be as wide as your mat. If you have a couple of blocks, it can be nice to have them here. And for this one, you are just going to fold and hold. So if the hands don't reach the earth, feel free to rest them on the blocks. You can also take hold of opposite elbows, or you can just let them dangle. If your head is close enough to the earth, feel free to make a little block tower to support your head. Wherever you are, find a spot where you can hang for the next 20 breaths or so. And you'll notice as you're dangling here, that your head will slowly make its way closer to the earth, just by the power of gravity. And that's the power of your fascia melting and your muscles relaxing. Keep focusing your attention on your breath. Come back to that belly breath we started class with. Deeply breathing into your belly and then letting the air come out through the nose or through the mouth, emptying the belly fully. And slowly roll up to stand. Two options. One, you're going to come into a goddess pose. The second option, take that blanket roll, bring it behind you, and then step both of your heels onto it as you come down into a yoga squat. Bringing the knees out wide, the feet out wide. So two options. We're going to hang out in either one of those, whichever one works in your body right now. And this is a great place to focus on the breath. Or simply notice those sensations all throughout your legs, from your feet all the way up to your hips. We'll be here another 15 breaths. Again, today what we're doing in this practice is really like a yin-yang, or it's a bit of active myofascial elasticity paired with more passive, longer holds, yin holds. So the idea is very active release of our fascia with very passive release of the fascia, just working with our connective tissue in different ways to melt it, to release it, and to allow greater freedom of movement. And slowly roll forward. And now you're going to use your towel in a number of different ways. If your knees are feeling sensitive, pad up your knees. If your ankles are feeling sensitive, you can bring a roll right under your ankles. If this is pulling too much on your knees, bring the roll or a block under the hips. So grab your props, whatever works for you in this moment. And once you've found them, we are going to sit and pause. So kneeling is one of the simplest yet most effective stretches you can do for your entire body, because it stretches the tops of your ankles, it stretches your hip flexors, the tops of your thighs, those areas that often pull on your knees. Again, if that pull is too much, lift up the height of your hips. You'll still get the stretch in a more passive way. That's fine. There's no requirement in life to come into the deepest stretch, especially if you're feeling pain. If your knees are inflamed, if they don't feel great, take a gentler variation. That's okay. You'll avoid inflaming the joint anymore while slowly opening it up. If your knees feel great, take a deeper variation. There's no requirement to go into the deepest variation. You pick the one that works best for your body, and we all have different bodies. They're constantly changing every single day, every single month, every single year. We're going to add on to this. We're going to continue to kneel, but turn all 10 toes under and now sit back. Some of you are going to love this, some of you are going to hate this. Don't worry, we won't be here that long. Now rock forward, tap the tops of the feet on the earth, shake them out. And now instead of stretching the toes, we're going to stretch the ankles. So again, if this is a deep enough ankle stretch, stay in a kneel. If you'd like a little bit more, you can dynamically lift the knees off the earth, or you can stick a prop under the knees and put a little bit more pressure on the ankles that way. Pick one of those three variations, whichever one works for you. Now slowly remove that prop, come all the way back. And bring your feet in front of you. You're going to make your way back down to the ground. You'll need your scarf. Scarf and strap. I'm trying to combine the two words. So you'll need your scarf, your strap, or even your towel. Something that you can use to loop around your feet. So making your way all the way down to the earth. Hug both knees into your chest. And now loop the strap around the ball of your feet, lift them up towards the sky, and bring them wide. If you have a long prop like I do, slide your hands to the bottom so that they can relax, that your upper body can relax. If you have a shorter prop, you may be working a little bit more here. That's okay. And keep pushing the feet wide until you feel your outer thighs relax. Now start to pull your feet in towards your head, keeping your hips on the ground, keeping your sacrum connected to the earth. Slowly hug your knees into your chest, remove your prop, place it to one side. And I bring both feet to the earth and making a very large diamond shape with your legs. Bring the soles of the feet together. And the arms by the sides or overhead. Now if there's any pain in the sides of the legs, feel free to grab a block, stick it under your thighs, give yourself a little bit of support. Otherwise, just allow gravity to gently open up the hips. And even if you have a block, you may notice that after a minute, you may want to change it to a lower setting or adjust it. And keep bringing your attention back to your breath, back to your belly, back to your torso. And slowly extend your legs. Taking a few moments to realign your body. Once more, bringing your attention to your legs, to your feet, calves, shins, knees, thighs, hips. Noticing any change since the beginning of our short practice this morning. And then hug your knees into your chest. Gently roll over to one side and come up to seated. So if you've stuck with me this far, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Pooja Virani from Sun and Moon. This was a little preview of a workshop I have this weekend called Healing Your Hip and Knee Pain. It's going to be a much more comprehensive version of this with a lot more mobility exercises we didn't get to today. And it's going to be my comprehensive routine for healing knee pain. Or feel free to join me on Saturday mornings at Sun and Moon. I teach a vinyasa class with a lot of myofascial release and mobility. I'll be on for a few minutes, so if you want to say hi, just pop into the chat. If not, hopefully I'll see you this Saturday for my workshop or for class or in a future YouTube video. Thanks so much. Take care.